Well, thank goodness for that, yes. But she was strong on that. She was strong on the fact that we're not going to break up the union, and I suppose a cynic would say with 10 DUP MPs giving her a majority, she couldn't say different. She did reiterate no deal's better than a bad deal, which is good. I hadn't really heard her say that for a long time. Difficulty was, okay, she let her personal upset from yesterday came through. It was a statement delivered in very terse tones. You know, she said, I've treated them with respect and I would expect the same in return. She could perhaps have been a bit stronger there. But where we finish up with this is she's basically saying, I've put checkers on the table. I still think that's the right solution. You've, Mr. Tusk, just rejected it out of hand, and I'm now waiting for you to come back with a counter-proposal. So my concern, I suppose, Andrew, is she's kind of put the ball, in tennis terms, back on into their side of the court, and I'm not sure they're in a mood to play very constructively.
Yes, well, what do you think the reaction from the EU will be? Inevitably, throughout the course of the afternoon, we'll get reaction in from the leaders of the EU. I presume that they will respond. What do you anticipate on that front, Nigel?
I think that it's pretty clear now that the Monsieur Macrons and others across the EU, the Tusks, the Junckers, the Barniers, I think they're trying to make any deal so difficult and so humiliating for the British government that I think they're basically working hand in glove with the campaign in this country that wants a second referendum. So they will pretty much brush aside what she said today, to the point almost of ignoring it.
I note, I'm looking at the FTSE 100 here. The pound weakens, the FTSE absolutely flies, which would seem to back up what Theo Usherwood, obviously his political editor, who you'll know very well, he's just said that no deal just came a whole lot closer now.
Oh yes, I think that's right, and I think the way she the way she used that phrase, "no deal is better than a bad deal," when she said it today, it looked to me for almost the first time like she might have actually believed it.
Yes.
My problem, Andrew, is this. I think there is a way through the middle of this. I think yesterday, in many ways, gives her a fantastic opportunity to say, right, we've tried everything. We've tried, and particularly since her speech in Florence, we've tried to form a new special relationship where whilst we leave political union, we still stay incredibly close to all the institutions of the union, including some of its regulatory agencies. That clearly hasn't worked because they see that as effectively cherry-picking, hence the Instagram photograph that Donald Tusk put up. And I think really the opportunity the thing I'd like to have heard her say today more than anything, rather than I'm now relying on you chaps to come back to me, is her to say, right, we realise that this approach of a close relationship isn't possible. What we're now going to do is go for a simple free trade deal, and we put that on the table, and we say to you, you've got until the end of November to agree to this or not. It's completely up to you. Take it or leave it, or we'll go out on WTO rules. And my sense and my feeling from all the years I've spent in Brussels is that actually German industry and French industry are more desperate to get a deal of some kind done than we are. And I think if she went for that free trade option, I believe they would accept it, and we'd have to just find a way of dealing with their objections to the Irish border.
Can I ask you for your comments on President Macron yesterday? Brexit has hit back at Emmanuel Macron for calling them liars. I know you've got the skin of a rhinoceros, Nigel, but those who can, he said, those who explain that we can easily live without Europe, that everything is going to be all right and that it's going to bring a lot of money home are liars. It's even more true since they left the day after, so as not to have to deal with it. This was inflammatory yesterday. What was your reaction to that?
I just thought, what a ghastly little man is really what I thought, I have met him and chatted with him. I mean, this bloke has a higher allegiance to the European project than he does to his own country in France. If you think about it, ever since the elections of Brexit and Trump, he's the only real establishment figure that got elected. But in a way, I'm grateful to him. I'm grateful. Last night, I had a couple of texts from people who'd listen to LBC or watch the news, whatever. People who are not particularly political, and they're getting texts saying, gosh, aren't these people horrible? And I think this impression that we're dealing with a bunch of people who are wholly unreasonable, are not prepared to play by any sense of gentlemanly rules, I think Macron added to that last night. And I think the well of public support now in this country for just saying, goodbye, we're leaving, got bigger.